Good evening to everyone. I must say it has been such a long time since I last saw such an interesting match between Chiefs and Sundowns. Very, very good game of football. Both teams willing to take some risks at some times. Exposed a few moments with some poorest defense first half, where they set up very good pressing traps in the middle, and when they were cutting it in the middle, they were causing us a lot of problems. But a very good first half in our opinion, but unfortunately not so many chances created in the process. Second half we came back a little bit stronger. I think the double wide of Divine and Aubrey caused them a little bit more problems, because now they had to try and overload the ball side, more especially on the left, and that created a little bit more chances. But we lost the wing play that we had first half, because first half they were opening the wide channels a lot, but second half I think they improved in that aspect and gave us very little time and space to exploit those openings. But be that as it may, my overall assessment, I think it was a very good game of football for spectators to watch. Maybe a game that was short of goals, because we did not score many goals, and I also believe the penalty they got was legitimate in my opinion. But I also think we also deserved either a penalty or a free kick or whatever. But there were moments where Peter against Rama, I'm sure there's something there, and there was also a Nange inside the box and a label inside the box, but those are moments that maybe could have decided the game. And a very good performance from Riyadh to be able to keep us in the game, because Keegan is normally very good on penalties, but fortunately I think he went where we all anticipated he will go.
Thank you very much, Coach. Members of the media, it's your turn now. Your name of your media house, and the question, direct question to the coach, to make it easy for the coach to answer. We're watching the mic. See a hand here.
Evening, Coach. Manqoba Mqithi from SABC. Coach, obviously you've won the title now with a couple of games to spare. You very good game tonight, and you have the cup final. And just looking ahead, I mean, one might wonder, maybe you are casting an eye on the next season as well. Does this team need reinforcement, given what we've achieved? Obviously there was, being knocked out of the CAF Champions League, but looking overall at the 2 games remaining and ahead, does this team need reinforcement?
I do believe it does. We lost Ricardo Nascimento in the left centre back position, so we only have Musa Lebusa as a left centre back. As it is now, we've got 3 centre backs out with Brian, Rush and Grant. We have to use Divine Lunga in the central defence position, so that already says, if we were in the semi-finals of the Champions League, we would have played with this central defence, and that says it's an area that we need to look at. The central midfield, we've lost River earlier on in the season, and we might still need to reinforce, probably with a bit of a different profile central midfielder in terms of the physical profile and all the other elements that may be important in that space. And up front, in as much as we have scored a lot of goals, but we have not scored enough in terms of the chances that we have created. We were too reliant on Peter, in as much as there were many other players that chipped in with a few goals, but I do believe we might still look to reinforce that area. And there are other areas that probably they are not as primary as those areas. Those 3 positions, I think they really do need a reinforcement.
Thanks, Coach. Checking the mic.
Evening, Coach. Kaizer from Sundowns. You just touched on Divine playing left centre back. Starting this game, 2 left-footed centre backs. Divine has done well when he came on against Royal AM. Did well last week, did well tonight. Were you not worried playing two left-footed centre backs at the back, and is that something that maybe you felt nervous about?
To be honest, I never felt nervous about it, but I did not have a choice because I did not have any other centre back that was available on the day, which is why in our build-up schemes we brought AJ a lot into the back so that we could have that balance and use Divine Lunga more as a fullback, with Musa playing as a centre back on build-up, then AJ playing more like a right centre back on the build-up. I'm sure you saw it looked like a three-man defence in most cases, but we were trying to complement or to compensate for not having a right-footed centre back. But to be honest, there is nothing wrong in playing two left-footed centre backs, because in the PSL, if you were to count, maybe more than 90% of the teams are playing with two right-footed centre backs. So what's the difference? Maybe with left-footed centre backs we've got a little bit more creativity. I'm not sure. But before we did play Musa Lebusa and Ricardo Nascimento, and it's always presenting some new dimensions in the game. It's just that we did not really capitalize in some of the dimensions. When you have a left-footed centre back on the right, it presents a very good diagonal ball that can be played on the underloaded side in the half space when Cole, for instance, is drifting towards the right channel to assist Keegan Dolly and the left back. The opening that is created on the opposite side can be easily exploited with a left-footed centre back. There were a few balls that were played by AJ in that space, and that could have really helped us if Musa used the same thing on the right channel to go to the left side of the opposition of our side. But we did not exploit that much, and we did anticipate that, because Chiefs, we were anticipating them to play with a single pivot. We were anticipating them playing with a Cole or a Nange, with a Keegan Dolly, Ngcobo or Cole in a more advanced position, and they don't shift and present a double pivot. But with a double pivot, first half, when they were pushing Cole a little bit to assist in the high press, in that pressing trap they set in front of their midfield, Nange was always left alone. And in those moments, we got one moment first half with AJ finding Oprimo Diba in that space, Mshishi in one or two moments, and some very wrong balls that we played. But I don't think there's anything unto it, because like I said, most teams, including Chiefs, has got right-footed centre backs only.
Right.
Maybe Dube, who was not playing, is left-footed.
Are you okay, Coach? Seem to have interrupted.
No, I'm okay.
Sorry about that, Coach.
Coach, Lorenzo from the Times. For large parts of the second half, you could see Chiefs were set up in like a 4-2-3-1 formation. There was a lot of spaces in midfield as well. Is it something that you guys perhaps struggled with, because they created much more chances? And secondly, they obviously could have stolen the win with Dolly's penalty. Do you think they would have been deserved of the win, or do you think they even deserved the point today? Thank you.
I would think they deserved a point today. They deserved not to lose, to be honest. I think they played very well, with a lot of courage on the ball. Not too many aimless long balls. I think only maybe from the goal kicks, looking for Castro to establish play from there. But it was a very good match. I believe the Chiefs played very well, and I did say prior to this match that the last 3-4 matches they've played, I was very impressed, because they played the type of football that I can guarantee you can easily bring the supporters back into the stadium, because it's a gallant performance with a lot of passes, a lot of creativity, a lot of intricate play, and good counter-pressing moments. And also Chiefs is always very dangerous on transition, but it's not nice for a big team like Chiefs to depend on transitions and set pieces only. There's a lot that this team, that Arthur and Dylan are preparing, is doing, which makes this brand a very interesting brand. But to be honest, I think we could have done better. We also got our moments. Don't you think we also deserved a penalty?
Where's the mic?
Maskepper from Power FM.
Oh, Maskepper.
Coach, I mean, I just wanted to find out from you in terms of the 2 matches left now. Is there anyone in your team or outside that you have seen, head and shoulders above the rest to say this one has done enough to be a footballer of the season?
Yes, I've seen a lot from my team.
Who are those?
From my team, I think Peter deserves, Zwane deserves, AJ deserves, honestly speaking. But I also think Keegan deserves. Keegan Dolly had a very, very good season as well. And for that, he deserves. There's a young player that I thought maybe could have really set the stage alight this season based on his performances last season. The young Nkobo from Kaizer Chiefs, central midfield. I believe that boy, had he had a lot of games this season, there was a lot he could have offered. But in terms of the player of the season, I think those that I've counted deserve.
Thank you, Coach. If we're running short of questions for the match, we will get to the player of the season. No, it's a good question. No, you are protected, colleagues. On that note, unless, Coach, you've got something that you believe it was not asked by the media and you want to share with the media in closing.
No, there's not much, to be honest, except to say I think coaches like Arthur at Dylan, Kobola at Baroka, if you look at what the change that they've made in a very short space of time, it requires that our South African media must also try a little bit not to be pessimistic towards our people. I think they deserve an opportunity and the support from you guys in the media, because I do believe South African coaches are really showing. Look at Katlench at Chipper, what he's doing. The team looks good, he's doing very well. Kobola is doing very well, and Arthur Dylan, very short space of time. But honestly speaking, I now want to watch matches that are played by these teams, because I see a lot of what I can identify with in terms of how South Africa expects football to be played. And I do believe it is in that way that we will be able to improve the quality of football even in our national team. Because if our contests are not second ball and set pieces, it's football, and we are given a chance and supported by our own people, I am definitely sure our football can take a very good direction. So that's my wish, that we must try and be supportive to our people, not to always point a gun on our South African coaches, please.
Coach Manqoba Mqithi, thank you very much, and Sheppy and your colleagues, thanks. We'll see you next time. All the best against Stellenbosch in your next game. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.